Conor had kind of drifted away from the gym because he'd sort of tried a bit and just didn't seem to be getting anywhere. In fact, it wasn't long after he fought, he won the second world title on Cage Warriors. So he had 2 belts, and I'm going to guess, I could be wrong, but I think he was fighting for in and around about $500 for those world title fights. Between $500 and $1,000, that kind of money. So you're doing that twice a year, 3 times a year against, Ivan Bushinger, Dave Hill. These guys were not easy competition. They were like proper dust-ups for hard fights. And, you're getting enough money that basically paid for your training for the last couple of weeks, last couple of months. So that was before Christmas, and I guess at that stage he was today, I guess I better try something else. And I had been harassing poor Sean Shelby. I got hold of his email address and I just was kind of harassing him. And then eventually, he replied late January. I still have that email, actually. I've never shared that. Maybe I'll send that to him today. And he just says, look, there's a fight April 6th, isn't it? Because we're coming up to the 7-year anniversary. And I was in Iceland, I was very excited, and I start ringing Conor, and he wouldn't answer. And then I heard that he wasn't showing up in the gym to teach his class. He used to teach 1 class a week for me. And he thought I was ringing him to give him a hard time about that. And then eventually I had to just text him. I was like, answer your bloody phone. The UFC have been in touch. And he picked up the phone, and you know how Conor is very calm and calculated and doesn't get hyper and doesn't get excited. So I could almost hear him screaming from Ireland all the way to Iceland without needing a phone. And I remember that, and it was a kind of, well, I'd known this before about him, but it was funny that we went the whole phone call and he never asked who was he fighting.
Sitting here on April 22nd, I believe it is, Wednesday, April 22nd, how confident are you that you will actually fight Tony Ferguson on May 9th?
I have to be 100% positive, 100% confident. I was 100% confident that that April 18th card was going to happen. Never for a second did I doubt it. I can't, because then I'll ultimately pull your foot off the pedal a little bit. Mm-hmm. That's why I say you can't train for a camp like this without the proper time or the proper time, because you wake up with a different mindset every single day, and it sucks because it's like, well, why don't you have the mindset every day no matter what? You can't push yourself that hard. If you push yourself that hard for a year, you're going to break yourself. You're going to be suffering injuries and you're never going to be 100%. So I have my coaches, like right now I was going to have another workout. My coach Trevor pulled me back. He said, we're just going to do 2 Tabatas on an Aerodyne instead of hitting for 40-45 minutes, because the wrestling practice I just did was incredibly hard. So again, those guys, I never would have pulled it off, and I was sad that when he said that, but I got on the bike and I got to push it, and tomorrow's going to be another hard day. So they do a good job at pulling me back when I need to. That's the same reason I have to have Trevor in my corner, because I can't trust myself to protect myself from myself. When I'm in there, I've made a choice to die, and and if someone's going to save me from that, it's going to be Trevor, who's been there every single. He's never missed one of my practices. He's running my tabata. He's running my sprints. He's at every sparring session. So nobody knows me like that man does. And, you know, so that's ultimately who I trust.
Does Trevor have
save my life in the moment?
Trevor have full authority to throw in the towel for you at any moment?
Absolutely. I would never question his choices.
Yeah. Just a couple more for you, man. And I know that obviously this one is the one you're focused on, but I got to believe part of the appeal of taking this fight is that there's an interim belt attached to it, and interim belts usually mean that you're guaranteed Khabib. Is that how you look at it? If you win this fight, then you are absolutely 1,000% Khabib Nurmagomedov's next opponent?
When they wrap that belt around me, it's going to feel, it won't be a destination. It'll be a map to the top. That's how I'm looking at it. It will be nice to have a belt wrapped around you, but for me, it won't mean the same. It won't mean that I'm a world champion in the UFC. But yes, I absolutely, when I beat Tony, I'm fighting Tony next. I mean, when I beat Tony, I'm fighting Khabib next. Yeah. Because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to try to be the best in the world. And when I fight him, I want him to try to kill me because I won't respect him if he doesn't. And that's what I expect from every athlete that trains with me. That's what I expect. That's why I offer $500 to anybody that can drop me with a body shot in sparring. It's because I want them to put the pressure on me. I feel, like I'm training for war here. I'm not training for a 5K. It's really for war. And I think it's a mindset. I get very short-fused, short-tempered the week of the fight. I'm not a mean person, but I don't really want, when someone asks if you're ready, it really pisses me off because it's like, get out of my face. Get out of my face. If I'm not ready, then I'm down. So what are you asking me that for?
Yeah.
Things like that. But, as an athlete, again, I'm preparing for a war. When they raided the villages, and then when I think about not having proper training, it's like back in the day when someone raided your village, you didn't ask for a timeout and ask for some time. You had to go. You had to fight, and you had to protect your family. Out right now, I'm protecting everything I've ever worked for. 27 years of hard work. And you could take it from me, but I promise you, you're gonna go through hell.
Has that been effective? Has that been an effective strategy in terms of have you been able to brainwash yourself to think differently from something that you fought for years? Because for years you've been against short notice fights. So have you been
still against short notice fights. I don't want them to think that I'm going to take short notice fights. But I was never against a short notice fight for a belt. Yeah. Those circumstances are so different. Yeah. And ultimately, I have been training more than I ever have in between the camp. I fought one time in the last year. Barboza was over a year ago. So I fought Cerrone in the last 1 year, and that's it. All three guys I knocked out in my last fight, they turned around and fought before me. Yeah. So that sucks. And, it's especially when you're getting these big old checks, it's really hard not to go grub. But, yeah. So, but as you get older, you kind of understand. You dig your own grave.
I think there's around 500 fighters on the UFC roster. I don't know if there's 5 that would do that.
There's not 5. Unless, there are some lower level guys that would do it if you told them they were getting some money. But again, there's reward at the end of the pot. Right? For nothing. I don't know who would do that. I know I wouldn't have. When I was making 205, I would not have sucked myself down to 205 for nothing. Why suffer without the reward or the ability to compete at the end of the rainbow? I think that was a massive, massive statement by Tony Ferguson. And I just think that he shows, man, that dude's in tune with what he wants to be. But when you ask me, Ariel, is it a boss move when there's a why? Why would you think something's wrong with what he did? I don't get it. Like from that other side, right? Because I'm sure you're not alone in that thought. Other people must feel the same thing. Why? Where's the negative you guys see in that?